Welcome back to my channel. Today, we explore the value of specific coins, the most valuable. Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny coins value in market in dollar, so let's get started. First up, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny with the D mint mark has a story that makes it interesting for collectors and history lovers alike. This small copper coin represents a piece of American heritage, and even in circulated condition, it still carries value beyond its face. The 1950 D Lincoln penny was produced at the Denver Mint, which is indicated by the small D mint mark just below the year on the front of the coin. During that time, the United States was coming out of the post-World War II era, and coin production was quite high to meet economic demand. In fact, more than 300 million of these pennies were minted, making it a common coin in terms of availability. However, common does not always mean worthless, especially when it comes to coin collecting. This coin belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which was minted from 1909 to 1958. The design was created by Victor D. Brenner and remains one of the most recognized coin designs in U.S. history. On the front, you will see the detailed profile of Abraham Lincoln, while the back features two wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This classic design is loved by collectors for its simplicity and historical significance. When we talk about the value of a coin like the 1950 D penny, the most important factor to consider is its condition. A coin described as being in very fine condition has clearly been in circulation but still retains a good amount of detail. Lincoln's hair will show visible lines, though not as sharp as a new coin, and the wheat stalks on the reverse will still be clear, although slightly worn. It is a balanced condition where the coin has character from use, but still holds its original design features. In today's market, a 1950 D Lincoln Wheat Penny in very fine condition typically has a value ranging from around 10 cents to 25 cents. While that may not sound like a huge amount, it is still significantly higher than its original face value of 1 cent. For many collectors, these coins are not just about profit, but about completing sets and preserving pieces of history. If the coin is found in better condition, such as extremely fine or even uncirculated, the value can increase. Coins that have never been used in daily transactions and still retain their original mint shine are especially desirable. In such cases, a 1950 D penny might be worth anywhere from around 50 cents to a few dollars, depending on its quality and overall appearance. The better the preservation, the higher the potential value. Another important detail that can affect value is the color of the coin. Copper coins like the Lincoln penny can appear in different shades over time. Some retain their original reddish color, known as red coins, while others turn brown due to oxidation. Red coins are generally more valuable because they are closer to their original state. Brown coins are still collectible but usually sell for less. Eye appeal also plays a big role. Even within the same grade, one coin may look more attractive than another. A coin with fewer scratches, cleaner surfaces, and more even color will usually attract more interest from collectors. Small differences in appearance can sometimes lead to noticeable differences in price. One mistake many people make when they find old coins is trying to clean them. It might seem like a good idea to make the coin look shiny and new, but cleaning can actually damage the surface and reduce its value. Collectors prefer coins in their natural state, even if they look worn or aged. So if you ever come across a 1950 D penny, it is best to leave it untouched. It is also important to understand that while some coins sell for extremely high prices, those are usually rare error coins or coins with very low mintage. The 1950 D Lincoln penny is not considered rare, so its value is mainly based on condition rather than scarcity. That said, it still holds steady demand because it is part of a popular and widely collected series. In the end, the 1950 D Abraham Lincoln 1 cent coin in very fine condition may not make you rich, but it is still a valuable and meaningful collectible. It offers a glimpse into the past and serves as a reminder of how even the smallest objects can carry history. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced collector, coins like this are a great way to start or grow a collection. Next up, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was produced in Philadelphia. During that year, hundreds of millions of these coins were struck, which means they are not considered rare in general terms. Because of this high mintage, most examples you find today are not extremely valuable. However, that doesn't mean your coin is worthless. In fact, even a circulated coin in decent condition can still be worth more than its face value. When we talk about a coin being in very fine condition, we are referring to a specific level of preservation. A very fine coin has clearly been used in everyday transactions, but it still retains strong details. The portrait of Abraham Lincoln is visible and well-defined, though you may notice some wear on the highest points, such as the hair and cheek. On the reverse side, the wheat stalks remain visible, although the finer lines at the top may show light smoothing from circulation. This balance between wear and detail is what places the coin in the very fine category. In today's market, a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition typically ranges in value from around 10 cents to about 75 cents. The exact price depends on the overall appearance of the coin. If the surfaces are relatively clean, the color is appealing, and the details are still strong, collectors may be willing to pay toward the higher end of that range. On the other hand, if the coin is dark, heavily worn, scratched, or damaged, its value will likely fall closer to the lower end. One interesting aspect of this coin is its composition. The 1950 penny is made primarily of copper, about 95%, with the remaining portion consisting of tin and zinc. Because of this, even the metal itself gives the coin a small intrinsic value. While this alone does not make it highly valuable, it does explain why these coins are often kept rather than spent. Although most 1950 pennies are common, condition plays a huge role in determining value. Coins that have never been circulated, known as mint state coins, are much more desirable. These coins still display their original shine, often called mint luster, and show no signs of wear. A 1950 penny in such condition can be worth several dollars, and in higher grades, the value can increase significantly. However, finding one in this state is quite rare because most were used in everyday commerce. Another factor that can influence value is color. Copper coins naturally change color over time. A freshly minted coin has a bright red appearance, but as it ages, it can turn brown or develop a mix of red and brown tones. Collectors often prefer coins that retain more of their original red color, which can increase their desirability and price. Even in very fine condition, a coin with a more attractive color may sell for more than one with dull or uneven toning. It is also worth mentioning that errors and unusual features can greatly increase the value of a coin. While the standard 1950 no mint mark penny is common, there are occasional error coins that stand out. These might include off-center strikes, double impressions, or other minting mistakes. Such coins are much harder to find, but if you happen to come across one, it could be worth significantly more than a normal example. For most collectors and viewers, the reality is that a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny in very fine condition will not make you rich. However, it still holds value beyond its 1 cent face value and represents a small piece of history. This coin has likely passed through countless hands over the decades, witnessing everyday transactions and moments in time that we can only imagine today. The real beauty of collecting coins like this is not just in their monetary worth, but in their story. Each coin connects us to the past and reminds us of how something so small can carry meaning over many years. Even if your coin is only worth a few cents more than its original value, it is still worth keeping, especially if you enjoy collecting or learning about history. So the next time you find a 1950 Lincoln penny in your change or an old collection, take a closer look at it. Check its condition, notice the details, and appreciate its age. While it may not be a rare treasure, it is still a collectible item with its own place in the world of coins. And sometimes, the simple act of paying attention can turn an ordinary penny into something much more interesting and worthwhile. Next up, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary coin, but understanding its background and value can make it much more interesting. The 1956 wheat penny belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which was produced in the United States from 1909 to 1958. These coins feature the portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design created by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse side, you will see two wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent, which is why collectors commonly call them wheat pennies. This design is one of the most recognizable in American coin history and continues to be popular among collectors even today. When a 1956 penny does not have a mint mark, it means it was minted in Philadelphia. During that year, the Philadelphia Mint produced a very large number of these coins, over 400 million pieces. Because of this high mintage, the 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark is considered a common coin. Many of them were widely circulated and can still be found today in old collections or even occasionally in circulation. Now let's talk about condition, because this is the most important factor when determining the value of any coin. A coin described as being in very fine condition shows moderate wear. The main details are still visible, but there are clear signs that the coin has been used over time. On a 1956 wheat penny in very fine condition, you can still see the details in Lincoln's hair, although they may be slightly worn down. The wheat lines on the reverse side are also visible, but not as sharp as they would be on a brand new coin. In today's market, a 1956 wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition typically has a value of around 10 to 20 cents. This means it is worth a little more than its face value, but it is not considered a rare or highly valuable coin. The reason for this modest value is simply the large number of coins that were produced and the fact that many of them still exist today. However, this does not mean the coin has no importance. For many collectors, even common coins like the 1956 wheat penny are valuable because of their history and the role they play in completing a collection. Holding one of these coins is like holding a small piece of the past, something that may have passed through many hands over the decades. The value of this coin can increase if it is found in better condition. For example, if a 1956 wheat penny is in uncirculated condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear and still has its original shine, it can be worth significantly more. In such cases, the value can range from around 40 cents to over $1, depending on how well the coin has been preserved. Coins with strong luster, clean surfaces, and minimal marks are always more attractive to collectors. There is also the possibility of error coins, which can be much more valuable. Some 1956 wheat pennies may have been struck with minting errors, such as doubled letters or unusual markings. These types of coins are much rarer and can be worth far more than standard coins. In some cases, collectors are willing to pay tens or even hundreds of dollars for genuine error coins. But it is important to understand that not every mark or imperfection is an error. Many coins have damage from circulation, and this type of damage does not increase value. Another interesting detail about the 1956 wheat penny is its metal composition. These coins are made from 95% copper, along with a small amount of tin and zinc. This gives them their classic brown or reddish appearance. While the copper content does add a small base value, it is still not enough to make the coin highly valuable on its own. If you have a 1956 wheat penny, the best thing you can do is examine it carefully. Look closely at the details on both sides of the coin. Check for any unusual features that might indicate a rare variety or error. Also, consider the overall condition of the coin, as this will have the biggest impact on its value. If you believe your coin might be in excellent condition or has something unique about it, you could consider showing it to a professional coin dealer or having it graded. In the end, the 1956 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition is not a rare treasure, but it is still a meaningful and collectible piece of history. Its value in today's market may only be around 10 to 20 cents, but its real worth lies in its story and its connection to the past. Sometimes, even the smallest coins can carry the greatest sense of history, and that is what makes coin collecting such an enjoyable and rewarding hobby. Next up, the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark, especially in very fine condition, and what it is worth in today's coin market in dollars. Many people see this coin as just an old penny, but for collectors it represents a mix of history, copper value, and long-term survival through decades of circulation. The 1942 Lincoln wheat penny was produced during a very important time in American history. The world was in the middle of World War II, and the United States was preparing for major changes in industry, economy, and even coin production. This penny was struck mainly at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark under the date. In U.S. coinage, no mint mark usually means Philadelphia production, especially for coins from this era. This coin was designed by Victor David Brenner, one of the most famous coin designers in American history. On the front side, it shows the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. On the back side, it displays two wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. This design is why these coins are known as wheat pennies or Lincoln wheat cents. This design was used from 1909 to 1958, making it one of the longest-running penny designs in U.S. history. The 1942 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny was produced in very large numbers. More than 657 million coins were minted, which makes it a very common coin in circulated condition. Because of such a high mintage, this coin is not considered rare in general circulation. Most people can still find them in old collections, coin jars, or inherited coin sets. However, even common coins can have value depending on condition, and that is where grading becomes very important. In heavily circulated condition, where the coin is worn, scratched, and the details are faded, the value is very low. In most cases, it may only be worth a few cents above face value. Many of these worn examples are valued at around 1 to 5 cents, or sometimes up to 10 cents if the market demand is slightly better. At this level, the coin is mostly collected for historical interest rather than monetary value. When we move to better condition coins, especially fine to very fine condition, the value becomes more noticeable. In very fine condition, the details on Abraham Lincoln's portrait are still clear, including the outline of his hair, face, and coat. On the reverse side, the wheat stalks are also visible but may show some light wear from circulation. In today's coin market, a 1942 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark in very fine condition is usually valued around 20 cents to 40 cents, depending on eye appeal, color, and overall preservation. If the coin is even better preserved, moving into extremely fine or about uncirculated condition, the value can increase further. These coins may show only slight wear on the highest points of the design. In such condition, collectors may pay anywhere from 50 cents to a few dollars. If the coin has strong original red copper color, sharp details, and no major marks, it can reach higher collector demand and slightly higher prices. Mint state examples, which are coins that have never been used in circulation and still look like new, can be much more valuable. Depending on the grade assigned by professional grading services, such coins can reach several dollars or more. Higher mint state grades, especially MS65 or above, can sometimes sell for higher prices due to collector demand and quality. It is also important to understand that while the regular 1942 no mint mark penny is common, certain error versions can be significantly more valuable. These errors may include double die features, off-center strikes, or unusual planchet issues. Such rare varieties can sometimes sell for hundreds of dollars or even more at auction, depending on how dramatic and rare the error is. However, these are not normal coins and require careful examination to identify. Another interesting point about the 1942 penny is its place in history. It was one of the last copper wheat pennies before major changes occurred in 1943, when the U.S. Mint switched to steel pennies due to wartime copper shortages. This makes the 1942 penny part of the final group of traditional copper cents before that historical shift. So when we summarize the value of the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark, it becomes clear that condition is everything. In worn condition, it is only worth a few cents. In very fine condition, it is usually worth around 20 to 40 cents. In higher circulated grades, it can reach up to a few dollars. And in mint state condition, it can be worth even more depending on quality and grading. Rare errors, if found, can increase the value significantly beyond normal expectations. Even though this coin is not extremely rare in general circulation, it still holds strong historical importance. It connects us to World War II era America and represents a time when everyday coins were made with great care and simple copper composition. For collectors, it remains an affordable and interesting piece of numismatic history that can still be found today. If you ever come across a 1942 Lincoln wheat penny, take a closer look before ignoring it. Even though it may not make you rich, it is still a valuable piece of American history that has survived for more than 8 decades and continues to attract collectors around the world. Next up, the 1941 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark. This small copper coin still attracts attention from collectors and coin hunters all around the world, even after more than 80 years. Many people find this coin in old collections, coin jars, piggy banks, or even in pocket change, and they often wonder if it could be valuable in today's market. In this video, we will explain its history, condition value, and real worth in the current coin collecting market in a simple and clear way. The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny was minted during an important time in United States history, just before America entered World War II. This coin features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, the 16th President of the United States, who is highly respected for leading the country during the Civil War and preserving the Union. On the back side of the coin, you will see the classic wheat ears design, which is why these coins are called wheat pennies. This design was used from 1909 to 1958, and it remains one of the most iconic designs in U.S. coinage history. The 1941 penny without a mint mark means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. This is completely normal because coins from Philadelphia in that era did not carry any mint mark. Millions and millions of these pennies were produced, making them very common even today. Because of the high mintage, this coin is not considered rare in circulated condition. However, it is still very popular among collectors who enjoy building complete Lincoln cent collections. Now let's talk about the value of this coin in today's market, especially in very fine condition. Very fine condition means the coin has been used in circulation, but most of the important details are still clear and visible. Lincoln's face can still be seen properly, and the wheat design on the reverse is still strong, although there may be some light wear on the high points of the coin. It is not a mint state coin, but it is still in decent collectible condition. In today's coin market, a 1941 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in very fine condition usually has a value ranging from around 10 cents to 50 cents. In some cases, if the coin has slightly better eye appeal, strong details, or is cleaner than average, collectors may pay around $1. However, it is important to understand that this coin is still considered common, so it does not bring high prices in normal circulated condition. Many beginners are surprised when they hear that such an old coin is still so inexpensive. The reason is simple: huge production numbers. In 1941, The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies, so they are still widely available even today. Because of this, supply is very high, which keeps the value low for regular circulated examples. However, not all 1941 wheat pennies are worth the same. Condition plays a very important role in determining value. If the coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning it has never been used and still shows its original red copper color, the value can increase significantly. High-grade examples certified by professional grading companies can sell for several dollars, and sometimes even higher depending on quality and color preservation. There is also another factor that can increase value, and that is mint errors. If a 1941 penny has a rare minting mistake such as a double die error, off-center strike, or other unusual feature, then its value can increase dramatically. Some error coins from this year have sold for hundreds of dollars or even more in the collector's market. But these error coins are rare and not found in normal circulation. For most people who find a 1941 wheat penny without mint mark, the coin they have is a standard circulated example. It still has historical importance and collector interest, but its market value remains low in typical condition grades like fine or very fine. Even though it may not be worth a large amount of money, it is still a great piece of American history that represents an important era. Collectors still enjoy adding the 1941 wheat penny to their collections because it is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series. It is also a reminder of early 20th century American coin design and wartime history. Even low-value coins can have strong educational and historical significance, which is why they remain popular. In conclusion, the 1941 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in very fine condition is a common coin with a modest value in today's market, usually between 10 cents and $1 depending on condition and appeal. While it is not a rare or high-value coin in normal form, it still holds historical importance and collector interest. Only special high-grade or error versions of this coin can reach higher prices. If you enjoy coin collecting, always check your wheat pennies carefully because small details, condition, and rare errors can sometimes make a big difference in value.